What's up, y'all? I'm back again for the part three. So let me tell you before I jump into this video. Let me tell you about my dream. I dreamed that I made it to 1,000 subscribers, and I made it to 888,000 subscribers last night. I mean, I dreamed about that last night. Yeah, I dreamed it. So anyway, I'm not gonna continue with that. Maybe next video. But let's jump into this part three video. Let's go.
You don't get look at this. Look at this picture right here. Stay on it. Now
Uh,
I'm gonna keep y'all
yeah,
there.
that's
We're
fake.
gonna go back now after CNA pictures to early drawings
Copper colored
and
people.
statues of what people say. Look at it. Look at it.
Copper colored.
Look at it. Look at it.
Copper
I'm gonna do
colored.
you one better. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the statues. Right? They were never called black or more Hindustan people. Nobody ever said they had. Look at it.
Copper
Look at
colored.
that. That look like the men? Do that look like the men? Come on, let's think about it. Let's talk about it.
Copper
Do they
colored.
look Hindustan? Does this look like a Mongol to you? Does it look like a Hindustan man? No,
Nope.
no.
Copper colored. American Indian.
These are not the same people. Them Hindustan dudes that you just seen, that ain't them. This ain't them. Look at the nappy hair short. These ain't the same people. You're not gonna go from depicting this to showing them other guys. Come on, stop. Again with the Indian crayon. Do you understand the problem, y'all? It's too much evidence in the world, and this is just going off. I have a lot on it on this on my Pinterest because I just want you guys to see how. Look at this. You know how we were talking about perm in our hair, how we talk about our getting our hair straight. We've been perming our hair. Ain't nothing new under the sun. That's why they don't like anything that puts us closer to who we originally was. They discriminate against us for doing it. Wearing bonnets, the Hebrews did that. Wearing head wraps, the Hebrews did that. Wearing dreads, the Hebrews did that. Wearing dreads and bonnets and wraps, the Indians did that. It's clearly on the Mayan temples that that's what we did. Tell me why, if Mexicans, these European Mexicans, these Mongol Mexicans, were the original inhabitants of Mexico and South America and El Salvador and all these in Peru, then tell me why the Bonaparte mural clearly depicts they don't wear dreads anymore. What happened to Mexicans wearing dreads? Why don't they wear dreads? Y'all can even get the y'all painting y'all face. Anybody could copy costumes. Anybody can make a costume. Making a costume and making yourself wear the same clothes as a race don't make you the race. There are certain key things that's going to tell you whether or not that's that race. Why y'all don't wear dreads? Why y'all don't wear bonnets? Okay. Why that? And it's specific dreads. It's one thing to dread your hair. It's the certain specific dreads that only my people do that looks like that of the Bunnapec murals and of the descriptions of the old Indians. Africans don't wear dreads. Africans do not wear dreads. I don't even know how we could even be considered. That is not even a part of the African custom to wear dreads. And some African Ethiopians do, like the Ethiopian. But look at their dreads compared to the dreads that we wear in America. You see that Ethiopian tribe that wear them fine thin coil looking type of dread type of things. I don't even know if this dreads are just twists, but they look like dreads. I will have to show y'all because the way we wear our dreads, we wear them wild, we wear them crazy, we wear them. It's different. We don't wear. Look at this, and if you see, look at this. We wear them wild and crazy. We wear them different from other people. We are our own. Look at the Aztec and who they say the Aztec is. Don't look like no Mongol to me. And these are the Kodaks. These are the Aztec Kodaks. And this is what I'm talking about. You get what I mean? There's so much evidence that supports that we are the American Aboriginal. We are, you know, and it don't make no sense when a law cited by Pleckler. See? This is the law. Law cited by Pleckler on Indian status. The Virginia Bureau of Vital Statistics acts in strict accordance with the law and classifying so-called Virginia Indians as Negro. I didn't say this. This is what they're saying. Now, they said, again, with the law of classifying so-called Virginia's Indians as Negroes, Dr. Walter A. Pleckler, state's Registrar of Vital Statistics, declared today. Dr. Pleckler's statement came in answer to a charge made by James R. Rhodes before a meeting of the Norfolk Kawasi Club. Mr. Coates, I hope I'm saying that right, Coates accused the registrar of acting on pure prejudice in classifying the Pamunkey Indians as mulattoes and in branding them Negro. So he's letting you know they took the Pamunkeys and turned them into Negroes or mulattoes, or even sometimes forced them to classify as white. This is how some of these white people became Indians. They started saying, oh, well, yeah, my ancestor so-and-so is of the Pamunkey. See, they white. And Jonathan, my Jonathan Burgess, he is my grandfather. Knowing damn well that Jonathan Burgess, who owned Madland, wasn't their grandfather, but because he had listed himself as white, because he was being either killed or imprisoned or threatened to be killed or imprisoned for claiming that he was American Indian, he said he was a white man. He said something that was going to put him in a position to not be killed or had his land or his family hurt or harmed. So he lied. And this is how some of these white people got the land today. Again, look at this stuff. Look at this stuff. And this lets you know.
Yeah, it lets us know we are the book. We are the book. This is our ancestral land. This is North America, or the Americas, is Atlantis. This is Turtle Island. This is Tamarica. Because Upper Egypt is in the Grand Canyons. Lower Egypt is Florida. Florida is called Tamarica. Tamari is beloved land, the fertile land of black soil. The plump serpent. Tamarica. And the real Jerusalem is in Utah. Utah is called Judah. You see that? Do your research. Do your due diligence, man. Do your genealogy. You'll find out who you are. Oh, wow. Shalom. CEO. Number Chukma. Wado. Wendy A. Ho. I am the Great Spirit. Wendy A. Ho. I'm of the Great Spirit.
It's too much evidence that supplies that we are the American Indians. Look, the West Indies formerly applied to America. So if you look up the word India and the old definition of India, look at this, what it says. Formerly applied to America. India now. They ain't talking about Hindustan, Bharat Hindustan. India, they said, in the definition of India, it said formerly applied to America, or some parts of it, right? The Indies, West Indies. This lets you know who the true Mexicans are not. Those European Mexicans are not American Indian. They're not the Mayans. They're not the Aztecs. They're none of that. The time that they were in America was a long time ago when Nimrod ruled. Do not let them trick you with the timeline. Okay, we all lived in America at one point, the true old world, right? That was during the time of Nimrod, after the great deluge, the flood, whatever you want to call it, that all went kaput. Everybody got their own tongues and started migrating. They stayed within the continent or of USA or America, whatever you want to call it. They stay in this part, North America, South America, Canada, Caribbean knowledge for quite some time. And then eventually in the 1900s dispersed and went to different lands. That's why you find Africa and a lot of those countries not getting their name, Morocco and stuff, until 1940 and 1920. Though, and even in Barak Hindustan did not become India until what, 1920, 1940? We can Google. Let's find out when Barak Hindustan became Indian. Right? Let's just use good old Google search. When did it change to in mid-late 18th century? So they say. Let's see. All right, what was the name of India before 1947? So it's letting you know in 1947, okay, Jabadewapa, no, but that's South Asia. What was the name of India before? And I'm not even going to get to, but the name is Hindustan to India, right? It'll give you the rundown. You could go ahead. They're going to give you a made-up story of why it went to India, but it was Bharat Hindustan.
Yep.
And it was not considered, see, many names in the journey to India, Hindustan, Bharat Hindustan. You get what I mean? So just to let you know, they called it India for no reason. They're going to give you a made-up story like they always do. That's nothing but conjecture unless they can prove. Until they can prove to you after the fact, it's conjecture. I cannot stand when people try to tell you that, oh, it got its name because this guy named Indios Abadus came there, he sat down, and he drank some Kool-Aid, and he sat there, and he got his sipped on some wine, and he decided to name Hindustan after himself. No evidence, just conjecture. Everybody say, oh, yeah, that sounds about right. You know, get out of here. There was no reason for Bharat Hindustan. And again, I was watching a video, I forgot this content creator, where they said they have taken crafty counsel against my hidden ones. They have, I can't ever say these scriptures verbatim, but they have created a confederacy against my people. And all these races are in on it. Everybody, yes, they're in on it. Do understand Africa's in on it. All of Hindustan and Asia, the Chinese, Korean, all these people are in on it. They all know that you're the American Indian. They all know it. Some of them can have fooling themselves, tricking themselves. Even the so-called Native Americans who are clearly descendants of Chino slaves and Mongols, they know the truth. They know the truth. Everybody know you're an American Indian, but because they took crafty counsel against God's hidden ones, you're sitting here believing that you're black, which is not even a nation. You're sitting here believing that you're African American, which is not a nation. There's no such thing as a nation called African American. You can't find that there's Africans, but whatever their tribe that they will say that they are of Nigerian, Ghanaian, I don't know how to say that, Ghanaian, Kenyan, however they say their names over there. But they're going to tell you the region in which they're from, and that's Ethiopian. You get what I mean? They're never going to say they're African. African is they don't even call themselves African, to be honest. They think that's that's an American or English way of saying their continent or their country. That's what they think, and you can ask them. They do not call themselves African. They think that that's an Americanized way of saying their country's name. Okay, that's first and foremost. Secondly, there's no documentation. Again, I know this is a long video, but because I want to prove a point. We got to stop letting all these different races come to this country and lie because they want lands. They want to act like this land is theirs. This is the promised land. This is the land that everybody keep trying to fight over. And that's why everybody come here. Everybody come here to take from the American Indian. That's why we will be at the bottom of the barrel, because you got Native Americans who will put in treaties, and I got a plan. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I know what I'm going to do, because we got to try to get what's our rightfully ours back. Everybody want to call you black and African American. African American is a misnomer for a reason. You have no African ancestry to be considered an African American. Do you understand me? How come Europeans they say they're European? Well, how come they don't call themselves European American? How come there's no Asian Americans? They don't call themselves that, right? They don't say that that's their nationality at all. So why are we saying we're African American? Well, what part of Africa are we from? You said that you got everybody from different parts of Africa. Prove it. Where's the manifest, the legend? There's nothing. You have nothing. You have no proof, no ocular sustainable proof to solidify that you've gotten anybody from Africa. And see, my goal is I don't want to just identify with being Indian. I'm going to prove I'm Indian, and I'm going to prove my heritage with ocular proof so that it is not refuted, so that it cannot be refuted. See, when white people tell you, when they tell you African, they don't got no proof. They got conjectures and stories. A story isn't proof that you're African. Where? Where is a story now proof that you're African? Where is it? Anybody could make up. Roots was a made up story. They actually got sued because Roots was a lie. So if Roots was a lie, Kunta Kinte was a lie, then you know everything else they telling to you is a lie. We are not African American. We are in fact the American Indian. They know it. Everybody know it. Everybody know that the people that are on the reservations today do not belong on the reservations. Those reservations, those reserves were created for them to help white people steal the land from the true Aboriginals. Look at this boy. Look at this boy dreads. He don't even know that the way he wear his dread. I wish I could turn my camera around and show you this young man. He don't even know that the way he wear his dreads is from a biological heritage of him just past. It's just going from his grandparents onto him. And he don't even know that the way he wear his dreads has a lot to do with the Mayan that he was. He didn't even know. He didn't even know that the Mayan was who he was. He didn't even know that his people built this foundation, built this land. He didn't even know. You know how many so-called black people don't even know that they are aboriginal to this land? And people scoff and they laugh until I break down all the evidence. All the evidence. It's so much evidence, files, records. The 1924 Racial Integrity Act that clearly states we will no longer cast these people as Indian, but black, Negro, or color. That kills it. It lets you know who we were prior to the reclassification. Nobody was calling us Negro, color, and black prior to that. Nobody. Because when we were in the 1900s, we always called people by the nation in which they come from. So you could have been European, Spanish, Portuguese. You get what I mean? American, right? Nobody was a black or color. Those were social terms. Those were caste. That was a social status, which it still is now, but they add a code to it. They added, they play with semantics, these little semantic games, where it will mean it's interchangeable, the word black. So because under the code of law, black, means nothing, has absolutely no backing. You know what I mean? So, but then the flip side is they try to tell you that it's a nation or a people. Well, can I go to a land called black? No. Can I go to a country called black? No. So then I'm not black. That's not a nation. Stop calling me that. It's disrespectful. So I want us to get into that habit of understanding that. And I just wanted to show all the evidences that supports that we so-called African American are not African, but are in fact aboriginals to America. We are the American Indian. And I know there's so many videos out there, and please subscribe, check them out, because there is, at the end of the day, I don't care who say it. Negro Indian rebellion and rebellion. Look at this. The terror in the Chickasaw Nation. A band tied up postmaster and his wife at Stonewall, released by neighbors, many Indian citizens. What? Did they say black? The word Negro was hit there, right? Didn't see African. Never said that. They said Negro Indians. Indians, y'all. Then they just go on to now talk about the Indians. They ain't calling them Afro-Indians. Negro don't mean nothing. The Negro can't, there's no proof they African. That's conjecture. If you start adding stuff saying it's possible, that possibility is conjecture. That means you don't know. So therefore, if you don't know, you don't have no evidence, then it's null and void, right? So here they talking about a band of rebellious Indians. Who are they talking about? They want you to know who they talking about. Clearly, they saying Negro, so they want you to know. And who do they call Negro? People with what? Woolly hair, dark skin, broad nose, full lips, right? So clearly they telling you that you're an American Indian, because that's what they saying. You're not an African. Africans did not get to America until a certain time period, and that is in the early 1900s. That's when they started bringing them over here. Prior to that, there was no African here. Look at this. The Chickasaw. Look at this. Look at this article. Read this. That's what I'm saying. It's too many of these articles. There's too many actual solidified documents. And y'all reading it with me. It's not like his wife at Stonewall was released by citizens. Okay. They matriated. I hope I'm saying that. The Chickasaw government will move them from the reservation, right? And who did they say? Who is this article talking about? The Negro Indian, as if
Right. And let me say this. Me as American Indian, or you copper colored American Indians, copper colored people of America, we never were slaves. We always was free. They said the Negro was free. That tells you we never been slaves. So I don't know what y'all get that slave mentality from.
there was any other kind of. Don't again. We already know if you read Chino slave, I mean Asian slaves in the colonial Mexico from Chino to Indian, you know that those so-called people on the reservations are Mongols who do not belong to America. If you came here via the Bering Strait, which y'all admit, then you're saying that your landmass was somewhere else. So you being a Native American, you are not an original American. There was a people here before you that created a civilization. You just said you got here via Bering Strait. So you must know that you're not the original people. So stop lying. You already know your place of origin and that you do not belong to America. You also know that you have ancestors that are Chino slave descendants. So stop also lying, which means you know who you are, you know who we are. The American Indian is the so-called black man. Negro Indian. You hear what he's saying? Then he goes on to just keep calling them Indians after that, right? Come on now. Wichita. Wichita College. Excuse me. And it says a dispatch from Stonewall in the Chickasaw Nation brings information to affect the King Blue, the leader of the Chickasaw Negro Indians, in an open. Again, and I love when they don't care about that word Negro. Negro don't mean anything. There's so many different, if we're gonna say Negro, what kind of Negro? I did a video on that. What kind of Negro? Because Negro means black, right? And none of us is black. So what are you talking about when you say Negro? That's not even a people group. You're talking about
And let me say this. Ain't no such thing as black. Black is not no nation. Black is not no country. Black means non-existence. African American is a false word because Jackson made it up in 1988. So African American it's a misnomer. It's false.
a hue
All right, we got a
of
couple more minutes
crayons,
left.
a hue of inanimate objects. You're not talking about the legitimate color of a human being, right? Because nobody's black. Even the most darkest of dark person isn't black. They're just a deep shade of brown. So, like, what do you mean when you say black? Like, that don't even make no sense anyway. It's not humanly possible to be black. But anyway, I digress. Let's go on. Indian in open rebellion. The insurrectionists, I hope I'm saying this correct, has gone on a I don't know how to say this stuff, I'm to be honest, Morandering tour and are terrorizing the Indian citizens. Again, Indian citizens. Indian citizens, especially the squaws. Last Saturday, the band headed by King Blue swept down on the farm of George H. Chalks, postmaster at Stonewall. The Indians came to the farm at noon, and when Chalks, a white man, and we don't know if he white because you know they call it, again, it's a social status, but that it could have been, right? A white man and his squaw were led from the house and bound with a rope and held prisoner. King Blue and his band then proceeded to destroy everything in the house. They could not eat and drink, and after satisfying themselves, they rode off howling and swearing. Neighbors of Chalks and his wife came. So it's letting you know, Indians, we didn't never take no licking and keep on ticking. We fought back. All right? I didn't want to make this video so long, y'all.
All right, so that's the end of the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up, and click that bell. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'm out of here, y'all. I hope you learned something. Peace.